through all these pages here, and this is probably familiar to you. This is our contract page. I'll be ripping out all of the yellow pages as part of my copy. And once again, I'll go through the how this works. My grading system is a good, satisfactory, or poor. The least I expect in any home is a satisfactory grading. If I've graded something as poor, obviously there's going to be some repairing, replacing, or servicing that's required. And I'll also go through some yes or no questions, which may have some concerns. If they are of issues, I'll mark it on the report, in the back part of the report. All of these tabs, these are all the major parts of the home that were inspected. And this first section is the exterior. So anywhere that something applies that I'm inspecting, I'll be placing a check mark or circling a good, satisfactory, poor grading, or perhaps some yes or no. So let's start off with the driveway. We've got available parking. There's a bunch of snow around on the top of the driveway, so I can't tell you whether or not there's heaving or cracks on the driveway. Okay. All I know is that it's got a grade to it, but once you've cleared all that snow, you'll be able to tell a little bit better. I may not have any issues if there's no heaving or anything like that. Okay. Landscaping is to do with the grading around the property. Now, because of the snow, once again, I don't know whether or not there's any low spots, so I just marked the inspection was hampered due to the snow. So in areas where there's low areas with soil, just add more soil, just so that you've got proper grading around. Right now there's no trees to worry about for any root or branch damages. I can't comment on the condition of the walkways because it's covered with snow. There's no real front steps, it's just the landing. The back steps, however, it's part of a deck, a two-tiered deck, and the deck itself, because of all the snow, once again, I can't tell you the condition of the boards. I did make a comment with respect to the infill at the bottom of the guardrails. That's a little bit too wide. Okay, so any gap in between rail posts or railing between or from the deck to the rail should be no more than 4 inches wide. That's just a safety precaution. So if you'll notice on the deck underneath the handrails, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so somebody, a baby could crawl, or I don't know, whatever. It's just more for safety. Yep. For your own liability protection. Okay. Siding, we've got vinyl wrapping throughout. A few minor, small, little cracks here and there, but the majority of the siding is intact and secure. Nothing's coming off or loose. Okay. Same thing with the soffit and fascia. I didn't have any issues with eaves troughs and the downspouts. I did make a comment on the garage eaves troughs because both sides are pulling away, and probably due to all that snow as well. Okay. And basement windows, they're all the older windows. There was one crack in the front of one of the windows in the basement. Okay, and I took note of that. Okay, so that's the exterior. As far as the foundation goes, typical foundation, a few minor hairline cracks, nothing structural in nature. I didn't see anything that was causing me of a concern with respect to structure in this property. Okay. Downstairs in the basement, because of the finished walls and finished basement, I can't really see the foundation walls, but when I ran the infrared, I did not pick up any moisture, any signs of water in the basement, so nice and dry. There's no sump pump because of the year that was built. Columns, beams, and the floor system, very, very solid structure. I mean, as far as what I can tell walking on the flooring here on this level, there's no leans to any of the flooring or slopes. So it's overall very nice and square, solid home. Okay. All right. Roof is the next section. I cannot comment on the condition of the roof because of all the snow covering the roofing, and the only part that I can comment on is within the attic cavity. There were no indication of any current leaks, nor did I pick anything up from an infrared scan as well. So I would recommend that you ask the current owner if they have knowledge of when the roof had been replaced, if they did replace it, most likely it was at least once replaced. So that's all I can comment on, is to get that information from the current owner. Next is the doors and windows. Alright, so let's start off with the garage door. The garage opens and closes fine. Infrared sensors are working okay as well. The front door, that's a metal door, no concerns with the front door. Opens and closes and locks okay. The back door, it's a wooden door. I did notice part of the frame is cracked on the door frame, the back door, and the weather stripping could be a little bit better as well. It's just that thin piece of rubber gasket type, so you should replace that just to prevent any more heat loss. Types of windows, these are all the older aluminum sliders, and they're not as efficient as you would want them to be, so that means it's, you know, potential for heat loss in all of the windows. There was one broken window in the basement, that was in the front, so I had to rate it as satisfactory to poor because of the fact that they're older and they're not as efficient anymore. And there are indication in some of the windows that you know, there had been, because of the condensation, you know, the wood is sort of requiring attention in some areas. Okay. All right. Next is the electrical. So downstairs in the closet, that's where I had taken a look at the electrical panel. It is an upgraded electrical panel with a 100 amp service, so that's what an insurance company is going to ask you. When you open up the electrical panel, it is all copper wiring, and there's, you know, several, at least 5 slots spare for breakers, if in case you wanted to add more electricity or circuits. And there is a loose electrical wire in the laundry room. Now it should be strapped in place. If you notice, in behind where the washer and dryer area is, there's one loose electrical wire there. And there's a, I think there was just one bedroom downstairs where there was an outlet with a cover plate missing. As far as the GFIs goes, now on the outside, there is a GFI plug that is attached to a breaker on the outside of this home, but on the garage, on the front of the garage, there is just an electrical outlet that is not ground fault protected, so you should change that to a ground fault protected plug as well. As well as the bathrooms, both ups and downs bathrooms do not have GFI plugs. Okay, you should be replacing those as well. And also there was one switch beside the electrical outlet on the upper level here that it didn't work for anything. So it's just a phantom switch.
Okay. Where was that again?
Just in the main bathroom here.
Okay.
Just beside the plug.
In the bathroom?
Yeah, here. Yeah. And the kitchen, I would recommend that you replace electrical outlets within 1.5 meters of a kitchen sink to be ground fault protected as well. Okay. All right. And there was a couple of light bulbs that are burnt out downstairs, and also in this foyer as well. So that's all for electrical panel.
Hi, Rob.
Okay, as far as plumbing goes, so downstairs, the main water shutoff is in the furnace room, and the hot water tank. The year on the tank shows that it's a 2005 hot water tank. Kitchen sink works fine, tested the taps, no leaks. Main floor bathroom, the tub just drains slow.
Okay.
In the basement, the tailpiece on the sink is leaking. It needs repair.
Okay.
Okay. So it is leaking right now.
I forgot about them. Sorry.
So it's just a drain tailpiece.
Okay.
And the shower is working fine. All the toilets are working as well. So.
Okay.
Heating. All right. So the furnace looks like that's the original furnace. So if it is older and it's running on borrowed time, so to speak. So most likely, in any time in the future, you may need to upgrade the furnace. It is working now currently in its state, but
Okay.
you never know when it could quit.
Okay. And do you check for carbon dioxide leaks or carbon
CO2,
monoxide?
yeah, I have a meter, but right now there is what's happening is that it is clean burning. It's just that it's poor efficiency in the furnace itself.
Right.
But if anything, you should get that serviced because the last servicing I believe was 2006. Okay.
Okay.
So it requires cleaning and servicing every 2 years. So it's been quite a while now since the last service. And as well, the filter on it, it's the older hammock style, so it's just at the bottom of the furnace itself. So you're going to have to open up the bottom compartment and to access the hammock. Okay. So I rated the heating system overall as satisfactory to poor because it's older, satisfactory because it's still in working condition.
Okay.
All right. As far as insulation and ventilation, so down at the end of the hallway, that's where the attic hatch is. My only recommendation for that would be to insulate the frame around the attic hatch so that it seals it a little bit better to prevent heat loss. Inside the attic, what they're using is blown-in cellulose as a first layer. That was the original layer, and they've overlaid fiberglass batting on top of that. I rate the R value for the insulation to be about an R30. Okay. So typically R40 is what the newer homes have as a minimum standard. So you could consider adding more if you wanted to.
Add more insulation on
correct.
top of what's there?
On top of what's there already, like blow-in insulation.
Blow in more, okay.
Yeah, it depends on, you have to gauge how much usage your utility is, right? Or what you're spending.
Okay.
So, but like I said, R40 is the standard in new homes.
Okay.
But because this is an older home, I mean, you could
I presume what we have
beef
there
it up.
is
It's sufficient, it's sufficient, but
so you can just blow more in on top of what's there.
That's
How much,
correct.
We need another 4 inches on top to get something like that.
Something like that.
Even with the R20 on top of the 3.5 inches,
that's
it's
not
not
an
enough.
That's not categorized as an R20, even though they say that's an R20 rated.
Yeah.
That's not R20 because you'll have heat loss.
Why? Because it's a pretty good stain, but I just don't know why.
No, that's our rating is about at best those fiberglass batting will probably give you about an R12 to 15 at best.
Yeah.
They say it's an R20 value, but I mean, I don't think you're going to get an R20 up there.
Okay.
On top of that's from our experience, and that's from our from what we've been told by the kind of safety association, the standards association.
Okay.
So, and we've taken measurements too, in walls. That's what they put inside walls there as well. And at best, when we did measurements in one of our test cases on a brand new home, supposed to be an R20 wall, at best we can get an R17. This is a brand new home. Okay.
Interesting.
So. Okay. All right, now let's talk about the wall insulation. Well, I couldn't tell you what type of insulation they're using in the wall, but I can tell you there is through use of my infrared camera. I just don't know the value as well. Okay. There's no air conditioning in the home. There's no air heat exchanger. Bathroom fans. The one upstairs is operational, but the one in the basement, well, there's none in the basement. Okay. And this kitchen exhaust fan, it's venting properly to the outside as well. So just consider adding a bathroom fan in the basement. Okay, bathroom.
We won't have a choice there.
Okay, as far as the interior goes, this is where I look for condensation staining, water stains, stress marks around the interior of the home, and I didn't pick up any. Okay, it's a very dry home currently, and there's no signs or indication of any water coming through any of the ceilings or
Okay.
Any leaks in any of the walls or whatever. All the interior doors, well, there's a missing door that's been taken off downstairs in the basement.
Yeah.
That was the only one. Kitchen cabinets, I didn't have any issues with these kitchen cabinets. Okay. So let's talk about the last page here. So here are a list of notes for you. It says the fence is collapsed beside the south side of the garage. Garage eaves troughs are pulling away. The metal flashing beside the wood stove in the garage should extend all the way to the ceiling.
Yep.
You should have noticed that. Exterior electrical outlet on the front of the garage is not ground fault protected.
Okay.
So change that to a proper exterior GFI. Rear door frame is cracked. This one here.
Okay.
The main floor bathroom electrical outlet is not ground fault protected. The light switch beside the outlet does not control anything, so it's just a dead switch. Main floor bathtub.
But the fan there works.
Oh, the fan works, yeah.
So
there's two switches side by side on the wall,
yeah.
But the one switch beside the electrical outlet is a dead switch.
You know the old razor outlets that they used to have? So it's like a double box.
Okay.
So what they've done, they've put a proper outlet inside it.
Okay.
But they don't make it with a single outlet in a double wide box.
Oh,
so
so
yeah,
they just
put a switch on there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Come across that before.
Okay.
Okay.
Then it says the main floor bathtub drains slow as well. So I noticed there might be some requirement for some
flush or a snake.
Yeah, or whatever, a snake. Basement bathroom has no exhaust fan. Basement bathroom sink leaks, and that's because the tailpiece requires repair.
What
the
is
drain, the actual drain pipe.
Okay.
Where the drain plug is, because you can actually lift it, and there's no plumber's putty around there, and it's rusted out.
Oh, okay, okay.
Basement
is the sink done or just that?
Just that.
Just that piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basement bathroom electrical outlet is not ground fault protected as well.
Okay.
Combustion air intake duct is not visible to the furnace room. Now, back in the day when they installed these furnaces, I've come across back in the 70s and even up to the 80s, they didn't install combustion air intakes. It's just those ducts that are insulated to the outside. But it's a good idea to put one in as well, because it's an enclosed room.
Yep.
And the furnace is due for service and cleaning.
Okay.
Okay.
Not replacement for the furnace?
Well, he did mention that it's
older,
original.
Yeah.
And it's lucky it's
like,
lasted so long.
It's still functioning right now. The old adage, don't fix it until it's broken, right? It's not broken. I'm suggesting to you that it's very way down there in efficiency.
Okay.
But I can tell you the same thing in a car. Like if you're driving around with a 30-year-old car, I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy a new car, although some people might just be happy with what they're driving, right? So in this case, it still works. I mean, I can operate it through the thermostat, and it'll fire up, and you can actually feel the heat. But I cannot tell you that it's going to continue to do that in the next little while. But all I can guarantee you is that it's very poor efficiency-wise.
Okay,
that's all. So I if anything, I can consider having a replacement down the road in the near future. Yeah. And that's it.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Okay. Pretty much, everything is straightforward. I didn't think there was any major concerns that I came across as is, and okay.
Yeah. So if you were in the market for a house like this, what would be your opinion on it? 325 is what we have it. I don't think I got anything really to negotiate back on.
Hard for me to answer that because I'll tell you what's wrong with the property, but I can't comment on how much you should be paying for the home. It's based on, I guess, the CMAs.
Oh sure, just based on your own experience looking through them.
If the market was right and I was in the market for a home, I'd have no problem purchasing this home.
Really?
Because of the state that it's in, I don't have anything major that I'm going to be spending a lot of money on. It's different if I were considering it as investment or renting it out. I would consider putting upgrades and whatnot, but if you wanted to suite downstairs, but yeah. But along with that, you have to do your homework. You're gonna have to find out, how much it would take to to legally put a suite down there and whatnot.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're asking me, I don't have any issues with this one,
Yeah.
other than what I've just wrote down for you. And these are not major. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions other than that?